Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Credits. We are back. We've not been sat doing this for a while.
Filmed a few episodes and
We bookended
we've
them.
been on holiday. I've been to Harry Styles, so she.
So is she. Oh my god, she drops it. Oh, that was joke. So is she. Love that. No, yeah, we've both been to Harry Styles, not on the same day.
Not on the same day,
No.
on separate days, but a great time nonetheless.
Oh, brilliant time. Loved it. Harry, if you're watching, loved it. Congrats on the 12 nights at Wembley. But we're not Harry Styles anymore. We're back and we are talking about a very, very interesting, very fun topic today. And we are basically going to be asking the question, are we in the golden era of horror? And we're going to focus specifically on two films.
One that we've literally not stopped going on about for the past. You'll be glad to see the back of Backrooms.
Yeah, literally.
Because I swear we've literally either mentioned Kane Parsons, A24, or
I know.
Backrooms in the past however many episodes. So we've finally seen both films. Well, we've finally seen Backrooms, and we've also watched Obsession.
But we watched that together.
We did.
We did.
But yeah, I just think they've been... Obsession especially have been like box office hits. So I just think it would be rude not to. It's definitely a topic to talk about.
I know, if you'd have asked me like if we were going to do a whole episode on horror and then focus specifically on two films at the minute, I'd be like, oh. But it seems to have, this buzz for horror seems to have been gradually, very slowly, but gradually sort of brewing for quite a few years, I think. I think it started with Get Out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, horror, hold my hands up, is probably one of my least favourite genres because I genuinely am just scared.
No, don't lie. Your way of expressing fear is laughter, I think.
Yeah,
mine's
definitely
screaming. Because there's one of these films that I did indeed audibly scream in.
To be fair, in my Letterboxd review, I said the most entertaining thing about this film, not because I didn't think it was not entertaining, but in my review for Obsession, I did say the most entertaining thing was watching this sat next to Emily because she was so funny watching horror films. Even the trailers, she did do a little squeal at one of the trailers. I feel like it was like Insidious or something, and I was like, girly,
shut up.
But yeah, it's interesting because I just think, especially with these two films, it's shown that original low budget horror is more than qualified to outperform these expensive Hollywood blockbusters.
Well, it came out around the same time as Disclosure Day, and not a peep about that. Not a peep. Well, there was obviously, but not as much.
Obsession is still in cinemas. Disclosure Day at our local cinema has gone down to one viewing a day.
I've not seen it yet. I need to go tomorrow.
Yeah, you do need to go because I'm probably going to go out soon.
Yeah, it will. But Obsession, every time I go on, the Odeon thingy,
I think it's starting to go out now.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, should we start with Obsession? Should we have a little deep dive into Obsession? I mean, we watched it together.
We did watch it
We
together.
did have a little mini debrief afterwards about what we thought of it. I thought it was petrifying. And I do get scared of horror films, but I don't get incredibly it's not inherently like bone deep disturbation I get. But this was different. I mean, there was one particular scene, and spoiler alert, it involves a car.
And a wheel.
Little reenactment there for you. And I did indeed audibly scream.
Yeah, that was scary. It was. I did really enjoy it. I thought it took a bit of a while to pick up.
Yeah,
but I do understand because it was building up. I do understand. Like, I would like to I probably would watch it again.
Would you?
Just to. I mean, I'm not like, oh my god, can't wait for this to come out. But I thought, yeah, it was done well. Maybe a little bit shorter it could have been. I think maybe it was like, how long was it? Like an hour and 40 something. It could have been an hour and a half. I mean, I know there's only 10 minutes difference, but I feel like 10 minutes does make a difference in a film.
It does, yeah.
The two leads, I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't know the two leads from anywhere. The whole cast was like completely new. I feel like that really works for me personally in horror.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that actor. I haven't seen them in interviews yet, or they're not a profound face, name, figure.
Well, she is Indy. Is it Indy Navarrete?
Indy Navarrete, yeah.
She'll be a household name. She was incredible.
She was brilliant.
That scene where they're in the restaurant in particular, when she's like, no. Brilliant. Just the way she her facial expressions, like her eye contact, like everything about that performance was so bone chilling. And to be fair, she seems like in her interviews especially, she just seems like such a lovely kind of girl next door vibe. And at the beginning, her character very much is that.
Yeah.
But as it progresses, she just morphs into this completely different being. And I thought it was a really interesting quite freaky meditation on like coercion and like indirect forms of control with regards to men's control of women, and how we have this like, conversation surrounding, you know, what it means to have like genuine like equality and liberation, but how there's so many gray areas within that process of like, you know, how a man's actions, although they don't directly affect a woman, they have indirect consequences. And I did think there was a lot of really interesting metaphors about the wish that what was his name, Bear's character makes, and the complete inability to kind of comprehend the ramifications of his actions. And I do feel like it was a really interesting sort of analogy for the way in which men can like maybe unconsciously just pressure and coerce and try and like navigate their way into a woman's head. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I just thought it was very unique horror film, and I feel like with a lot of horror films, a lot of them are quite samey, but I just feel like this one is a really standalone piece, and I really enjoyed, as I say, the performances. I enjoyed the whole storyline of it. I really, really liked the ending. I thought the ending was really good, very clever.
And the ending was really clever.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like when it finished, I was like, oh, it's obvious that was going to happen. But you're so caught up in like the chaos of it all that you kind of forget that.
Because I feel like it picked up pace very quickly. Like, I feel like we were kind of like slow going, and then it all just kind of like started unraveling really, really quickly. And it started like getting a bit out of control really, really quickly. And I did really enjoy that. I
like how it spent only a short amount of time on their like happy part as well. I was like, fuck that bit. I won't get to the gory stuff. Not gory,
exactly.
But like
no.
It went off the wall though. By the end, I was like, jeez.
I know it was mad, but I thought it was very clever, and I think the fact that was made for 750, like under $1 million, 750K.
What's it gross now? What, 400-500 million? $400 million profit. Is ridiculous. I mean, Cory Barker, the writer and director, 26 years old.
He started on YouTube, as did Kane Parsons.
Kane Pixels?
That's his name on YouTube.
Is it?
Kane Parsons, yeah. So, again, it's another interesting route into the film industry, because it just shows that social media can be a real catalyst to become, you know. And I'm just excited because it's like new filmmakers, new talent. Did
you watch that episode of The Rest is Entertainment about Backrooms and obsession with Marina Hyde?
No, I didn't.
It was really interesting. They do place a lot of emphasis and talk a lot about how it came out around the same time as Disclosure Day. And although Disclosure Day is obviously getting like, it's a massive kind of marketing, you know, buzz surrounding it, little marketing money that's gone into it, big campaigns, this, that, and the other, massive names. Obsession, less than a mil, virtually an unknown cast, and made by someone who is 26 years old, and arguably the 26-year-olds and the Gen Zers are the ones who are going at the cinema.
Oh yeah,
we're the ones who are filling it. And when you've got filmmakers who are of the same generation and have the same sort of, or you know, want to explore ideas and kind of ignite conversations that are quite relevant to our generation because they're a part of it, that's gonna be a massive sort of aid in getting more of our generation to cinema. So you can see why we are kind of taking the reins in terms of like footfall in the pictures. However, I do think that compared with the fact that like Disclosure Day, I mean, it did get mixed reviews. It didn't create the buzz, you know, and that's Steven Spielberg. This is two kids off YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And it's a really interesting trajectory that the industry's taken, and I think it's starting really with horror, which is why we've thought it was an interesting topic of conversation, because not only are the films really, really interesting, and not only are we so excited about talking about the films, the way in which they're made is equally as exciting. And I mean Obsession, I thoroughly enjoyed. It was really, really scary,
but I think that's like an ode to the actors, because they were the ones that made it eerily, like especially Indy Navarrete, like she was just insane at playing that. And I think just going back to what you said about how you feel like this whole golden era of horror started with Jordan Peele, I completely agree. I feel like it's become a good genre for new filmmakers to break into, because it's relatively cheap to produce, I suppose. Like, you don't need you can create eeriness, like, you know, with not a big budget at all. And I just think there's a lot of creative risks involved in that as well.
Yes.
Look, obviously you've got Jordan Peele, who did Get Out, has done Us.
That was good as well.
Yeah, and then obviously you've also got Robert Eggers, who's
My god.
Yeah.
The trailer for Werewolf.
Oh my god.
It's literally the same cast as
Nosferatu.
I love Nosferatu. I really enjoyed it. And Robert Eggers, I think, is brilliant. I'm so excited for this. And I think Lily Rose Depp, although she's an Epo, she's a good actress.
Oh, she's brilliant.
Really
she's
good.
A brilliant actress.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there's
like Jordan
many.
Peele, no one had really. He wasn't a household name until obviously he broke into the world of horror, and here he is now. He's like a renowned horror director, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it is interesting.
It is interesting. And then I think it really kind of catapulted and really hit its climax in terms of popularity, maybe with Sinners.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Sinners kind of took it there. And I feel like it's now at a point where people are really realising that horror is now, like Backrooms, and we'll talk more about Backrooms now, but like Obsession as well as Backrooms, they are really highlighting the fact that horror is really now a really interesting vice to tell quite topical, thematic, like very timely stories, and maybe provide a bit of commentary on the world we live in.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not been used really as a vice to do that in the past, and the fact that it's kind of just been like surface level slashers, you know, and kind of just scaremongering stuff that doesn't really, it's scary in the moment, but it doesn't really stick with you. The fact that these films are frightening and they have something wider to say, and something a bit more concrete and understandable to express about society is really kind of why these kind of horror films are going to stand the test of time. And if we see more of them, horror's gonna pop off. Yeah. And I'm gonna start liking it again.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know what I mean? I just think horror is like, I think it's got that reputation of being like one of Hollywood's safest investments, because you can afford to have it as a bit of a lower budget than like these massive blockbusters that require like intense CGI, VFX, all of that. I mean, not saying that horrors don't use VFX, but like, you know, I think the VFX that were used in Obsession were literally her walking backwards. Is that really a visual effect? Not really. They just literally had to rewind her and she just like whatever. But they've got huge profit potential. But I also think a major thing for this is the loyal audiences that horror has. Yeah. Horror fans are like die hard. One of my best friends, she will literally go and see every single horror film that comes out because she loves it. Like she loves like a bit of an adrenaline junkie. Like,
yes, I mean, one of my friends is like that as well at work. She's like she's got her TikTok solely about horror. Exactly, like horror does have an allegiance, and I think. And I was talking. Her name is Megan. I was talking to Megan about it, and she was like giving me the lowdown on all her favorite horror films and going into absolute deep depth about why these are her particular favorite horror films, and she's like talking about Ari Aster as well. He's a massive name. Yeah, it's just these certain names and certain directors that are coming to the fore these past 10 years in particular, very, very gradually, and they're really grabbing people's attention, and like you have got the really loyal legions of fans. You have, might be one of them. You never know. Yeah, who knows? Maybe in a few months you'll be one of them. Maybe I am. Let's move on to Backrooms. Yeah. I saw this when it first came out. Emily took a little bit longer to. So we actually don't know each other's opinions really. No, so we went to see Obsession together. Yeah. But Backrooms, I was putting off going to see it because obviously it's a horror, and no one else wanted to go see it with me. Ella had already seen it, and Ella actually was the one to say, like, you will be all right watching it on your own. Like, you will be okay. So I braved it, and I went to a 9 p.m. screening, and it was kind of busy. No, it wasn't actually that busy. It was kind of busy, kind of not. But it was kind of just starting to not go out the cinemas, but there were a few cinemas that I noticed hadn't screened it. I feel like it's been kind of overshadowed, hasn't it, by Obsession? I do feel a little bit, yeah. It's got its props, like, yeah, definitely. But I do think maybe a little Obsession kind of, it's really just been like whoa. But yeah, I went to watch it. I braved it. I went on my own before it went out of cinemas, and my brain was fried when I came out. Me too. Was it? Yeah. What are your thoughts? I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I thought it was very clever. I was just fascinated by the fact that this 20-year-old had created this. Obviously, I know it's loosely based on something else, and he's like adapted that and made it into a YouTube series. But the fact that he did that at like 16, 17 years old and has been uploading this onto YouTube, I think it's such an interesting concept because you can it's like you can imagine that happening where you literally just get like lost in like these random abandoned buildings and stuff. But I did really enjoy it. I thought the performances were great. I enjoyed
Chiwetel Ejiofor's performance, and I did enjoy Renata Reinsve. Even the supporting actors again, I enjoyed them. I don't know, for me, and this is probably doesn't help that we were talking about it for weeks on end and like so excited for it to come out, and it did live up to standard, but I think I did just expect a little bit more in terms of like to grab me in that horror sense.
Oh, really?
Because I found it scary, don't get me wrong. Like I think for me personally, the handheld video footage was the scariest, because
Ooh, okay.
I thought like you know, anything can happen, like if you turn it around and someone's behind you. Like there was even like in the handheld footage there was like a head coming out of like a pile of like just clothes, and I was like, someone's gonna pop out of there, and then it never did. But like who if you picked up on that, like that was scary for me.
Was this camera footage when Chiwetel Ejiofor had like gone to the depths of it, and you saw that was the Christmas tree bit when he was there? Was that camera? Because I can't remember whether that was or not. I think it was. I think it might have been. But
like it was very good at making it a bit irate and just a little bit scary. Like thinking back, like it was scary, and I was scared. But I don't know. I thought for me, what took me out of it was the paper mache head when he was being chased by a big Chiwetel Ejiofor pirate. It really took me out of it a little bit.
I like that bit.
Did you?
It's
not that I didn't like it. I just kind of thought like,
yeah. There are. I mean, my biggest critique of it, I give it 4 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I gave Obsession 4.
Yeah, I think did I get 3.5? I give it a 3.5 or 4. I think I gave it 4 actually, but no, actually, I think I gave it 3.5 because it was too scary. The one thing I took many things away from it. I'll start with the negative. There's only really one negative for me. The pace of the first hour I thought was a bit slow. I was waiting for the Backrooms, and based on the first like 10-15 minutes of like when he's in the back, is it him in the Backrooms or is it someone else? I can't remember because I'm not too sure. It didn't sound like him.
I don't. Yeah, no. I think it was someone that, because they were in like suits and stuff. So it's whether it's like flashed forward or flashed back.
Yeah.
And someone has already gone to like discover the Backrooms and then got lost.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that first, I was waiting to go back to the Backrooms after that, and I did think it dragged it on a bit too long. There was an eeriness even in the real world. I think for me, I mean, there's so many inferences I made from the film and the thematic sort of elements of it, which I'll like talk a bit more about in a second. But starting with, for me, the cinematography. I really love the cinematography.
So did I.
I liked how it had these kind of like really sort of like mix of cool lingery shots and then like really still wide ones, like the ones of the furniture shop.
Yes.
I thought the colour and the saturation was really like, of it. Everything was really
even down
freaky.
to him going to bed in one of those.
Yeah, that was so freaky.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought the cinematography, and it's a bit shaky at times as well, and like even with like, the body cam footage as well, the incorporation of that, everything was really kind of distorting. And also, I did find the real world quite freaky as well, because it's so kind of like bright, and I find that really distorting in a thriller or a horror, because it's kind of like, you know, when like someone's like smiling in a horror film, and it's like Indy Navarrete, Navarrete, is that how you say it? In Obsession, when people smile or they express something positive in a horror, it's really it's really bone chilling.
Yeah.
And I found that with the colour in it. I found like the way it looked, and even like the outside world as well. Everything was like, it was sunny and bright and never rained. Like Obsession was just dark. It was full and dismal.
Yeah.
But there's something about that contrast that I found really kind of like off-putting. I'm like, you're trying to make me feel like this is really jolly now.
Yeah, he did really nail the eeriness of the film. Like I did enjoy the eeriness, but I do understand what you're saying about the pace. I do agree about that.
I feel like, the pace, definitely. I found the first hour could have been chopped down to 40 minutes. I wanted to get in the Backrooms quicker. The set design was incredible. I mean, you can really believe it when they said about how they got lost in it. Renata Reinsve was like,
insane.
Do you know what it did remind me of a little bit? Not just aesthetically, but maybe in certain ways thematically. It reminded me a little bit of The Truman Show.
Okay, yeah.
It did a little bit.
See that.
What fried my brain was the kind of the metaphors I was drawing from it. I thought this whole film...
How you remembered? Is that what fried your brain?
What was that?
How you remembered and how they were formed. You know, when they were sat around the table.
Yes. Well, that bit, yeah. I mean, that's the bit that I found the most enthralling, the most scary. That last third, I thought was great. I thought it was all a metaphor for the world we live in and capitalism and society. Like
Interesting, okay.
even down to like, you know, that bit where it's the last bit that you see in before I think Renata Reinsford's character comes in, and you know, when that lad's been killed and then he's trying to find the girl, and he goes into what I think is a spa.
Yeah.
And or like it looks like
where the water is and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really kind of, for me, it wasn't the first, but it was kind of the thing that cemented this kind of metaphor in my head of like, this is a metaphor for like the Backrooms being a distorted reflection of the wider world, because it's this kind of thing of like, because it's like an office, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a spa within an office. It reminds me of like Google having like a gym and a sauna. It's like they want you to live and eat shit and sleep there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they want like the modern society, just like in the capitalist regime and all that. They want you to just try and sell your soul to the corporate devil almost.
Interesting. Okay.
The pile of clothes, like over consumerism, edible flesh, greed, the multiple eyes of the creatures, like always feeling like you need to be alert and aware and
interesting
on it in the world.
See, I inferred from that like, because obviously, I mean, I didn't. He said it, but it's like how you remembered.
Yeah,
and I do understand, because it's like that. It's like your conscience, your conscience, like how things are remembered and how your memory is a little bit like, oh. Yeah, they kind of look like that, but if you were asked to draw it, it would not be like, you know, someone that you'd like just seen in the street. You would think you know what they look like, but then when you're asked to draw it, you would probably be a bit like, oh.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very clever, because it is like how your brain works and how your memory, you know,
how
can
you perceive it.
Yeah, and how you can how you perceive it. But that's interesting that you took like the whole capitalists. Like,
I thought, because I think it was the layout of the office. That corporate
and like
environment,
just the 10 million chairs that they had, and like
the over consumerism element of it, like, you know, the pile of clothes, and there's like something about like there's like a protest statement on one of the shirts. The fact that the creatures feel no pain, you know, I feel like the politicians and the tech bros and the crypto weirdos that run the world would want normal people to not to be desensitized, because it lets them get away with everything they want to get away with. I feel like the fact that the actual like Backrooms creatures, I thought were very like reflective of that. And then Clark, Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, doesn't have that, but he has this massive fucking pirate.
Yeah.
And I wondered why that was. Did you find that scary?
No.
I did.
Well, I did. I did find it scary. I found it eerie, because it was just like this huge thing like clomping along and like would stop at nothing. But I don't know, for me, as I said before, it did kind of, I was just a bit like,
yeah, I can see why someone would find it funny.
Yeah, I didn't find it funny as such. I just more found it like, and I don't think it took me out of it completely, but it did do something in terms of like just make me think like, oh.
Well, yeah. I think because I was quite like wrapped up in the analogy of it all, and I was making all these inferences, I was like, I kind of was leaning more into why that was there, and then the fact that he doesn't turn into one of them creatures, but he's enamored with the Backrooms and he's kind of fallen into the trap of it all, and he thinks it's where he wants to be there now.
Yeah.
The fact that he doesn't turn into one of the creatures, but he does die at the hands of a massive giant pirate that's like an extension of him almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of that thing of like, no one wins in this kind of world. Like, you either get with the program and become a feelingless vessel with 3 eyes, and you're not really a human, you're like a distorted creation that is going to be to their advantage, or you kind of succumb to it all. And he does succumb to it, and even when he does that and he's not become the creature, he still dies anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And it's like, yeah, I feel like the world we live in, men in particular are encouraged to have faith in a system that's going to give them like power and agency and financial stability and all this and that, as women are, but I think especially men, it's like very much like, especially in like the current sort of like manosphere climate that we're in, I feel like it's something that there's so many like empty promises that the world is promising. it only ever heightens someone's like own self-destructive
Yeah.
behavior. Hence why he literally eats himself. I mean, I put my full-on English lit analytical brain when I watched this.
I know you really did. No, and I think it definitely, it was one of those films that I left the cinema and I was like, I need to read up on this, because I just think like, you know, the ending was obviously quite ambiguous.
What did you think of the ending? I've not really read up a lot on the actual ending, you know, because I
didn't really. Well, I did read up a little bit, but I think like everyone really had the same feeling that it was like there wasn't really any explanation, and I don't think you really would get an explanation, because it is kind of like left up to your own imagination. But yeah, I thought it was a good ending in terms of, because I was kind of thinking like, how are you going to wrap this up?
Yeah.
In terms of how are you going to actually end this film? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what? I've not really like fully comprehended or understood it, and I don't know whether you did as well. But you know, Mary, Renata Reins's character, the fact that you're not shot of all the back rooms where it starts in her house and it goes down and down and down.
Yeah.
It kind of signified to me like, okay, where do the back rooms start and where does the real world begin? Like, is it all just one? That's kind of what it gave me the Truman Show vibe. I was like, oh, you know, that was very distorted. And I
it's
thought,
interesting, like when it flashed back to her childhood, like the handprints and like her mum. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good like thematic element to it. But yeah, I did enjoy Backrooms. As I say, the paper mache head did kind of take me out of it a little bit.
Yeah,
I do just think,
why.
Wow, Kane Parsons. I really do think he will have a successful.
I think he will.
He's got the, what you call
all
it?
All the ingredients.
Yeah. He's got, you know, he's got it all to become a really, really, well, to be a really good director.
Oh, 100%. I'm really excited to see what he does next.
Yeah,
and the audacity for people to say that he, like, to come out and accuse him of not having directed it.
Oh,
mate. So some people were like, oh, he's not really directed. It's like, nah, shut up. He didn't write it, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was like, well, I think it was adapted by someone else. Like, obviously he came up with the concept of it. We've had some good horror films coming out.
I want more good ones.
I'm trying to think what is coming out. We've obviously got Werewolf coming out, and then we've got... There'll definitely be more. There's ones that like I've seen being mentioned that aren't even being released until like the end of the year, or like are being released in America but not here. It's an exciting time in the horror world. I think it's
really
being taken. Not that it's never not been taken serious in the past, because it's obviously like, you know, horror is still such a prominent genre. But I think in terms of like the directors and the creators of these horror films are definitely being taken more seriously as like filmmakers and film directors.
Yeah,
like,
critical acclaim is not something that's ever really touched horror that much. It's had cult followings. It's had, you know, people going to watch Scream in their droves. Do you know what I mean? But it's never really invited a great deal of kind of critical commentary, and they kind of dismissed it as, you know. But now definitely it's gaining tract. It really is. I never thought I'd see the day.
Horror films are just so clever. Like, that's one thing that I always come out of thinking, like, that they're so cleverly done. But we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the horror genre. Let us know what you thought of them, if you've seen them. Any other horror films that you might think we might like.
Yeah, recommend some, because I'm on a bit of a horror binge.
Not really scary ones. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.